everyone, and welcome to Faces and Heels, your podcast for professional wrestling here on the KB Radio Network. I am your host, Kevin Reed, and this is the recap and reaction of WWE Backlash, coming to you from Tampa, Florida. This premium live event came to you courteous of the good folks over there at WWE and ESPN. It had 5 matches on this card. Should have been 4. Well, I'll say you could have had 5, but one of them, I don't even know why this was on a PLE. But we'll get to all of that. But this is historically the premium live event or pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it, that follows WrestleMania. Is the backlash of WrestleMania, all of the title changes. You used to get rematches, rematches from the little blow-off matches we had at WrestleMania, whether there was some shenanigans that involved those matches. They were taken care of at Backlash and kicked off new feuds at Backlash. It was there for a purpose back in the day. Now, not so much. I just can't put my finger on WWE. I really can't. I can, but we'll be here forever to really flush out all of the issues surrounding WWE since they sold the product over to Endeavor or TKO. It's just been horrible. I mean, this has been some of the worst wrestling I've seen in my lifetime. And trust me, I went through the Thunderdome era. I went through the Vince McMahon on cruise control era, which was a long time. And I just don't get this pro wrestling company. I don't get them no more. Triple H has let me down. I mean, everything about the creative, the way they present premium live events, not even premium live events, Raw and SmackDown, whatever, has been hot garbage. The only thing that's holding on with a little remnants of hope is NXT, but even that has kind of dipped over the years. I don't know. I'm just so disappointed. As someone who's been a wrestling fan since as long as I can remember, I can't understand us getting to this point in time where pro wrestling is just horrible. And I'm not even going to stick just with WWE. AEW is bad because AEW always been bad in my humble opinion, but it's not getting any better. And if we had any hope, AEW would take advantage of the fact that everybody is against WWE at this point. You got them down. You got them on the ropes, and you're not even trying to overtake this company. You're still doing the same old. But nonetheless, even with all that said, I still sat down and watched this premium live event, even though WrestleMania wasn't all that great, especially night 1. Night 1 was horrible. Night 2, saving grace. If it wasn't for night 2, especially that main event, this would have been the worst WrestleMania of all time. But nonetheless, WWE Backlash Tampa, 5 matches, as I mentioned before. We had Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker, Trick Williams defending the WWE United States Championship against Sami Zayn. You had Danhausen with a mystery opponent taking on The Miz and Kit Wilson. Also, you had a singles match between Io Sky and Asuka. And in the main event, you had the World Heavyweight Championship on the line with the OTC and the champion Roman Reigns defending against Jacob Fatu. Before we break down the matches, I must say this much. This show flowed better than WrestleMania. And I mean flow in the sense of there weren't 5,000 commercials. The matches were longer. I mean, twice as long. The average match at WrestleMania was 6 to 7 minutes long. I think the shortest match uh at Backlash was maybe 12 minutes. I think that was the shortest match. And everything else was over that. I think we had two matches that was either 20 minutes or close to 20 minutes long. It was better in that sense, which makes you scratch your head like, why? Why didn't you give these wrestlers more time? Well, number one, they had all of those commercial breaks during WrestleMania. I mean, lengthy commercial breaks. In some cases, the commercial breaks were longer than the matches that preceded them. Please, somebody, somebody explain it to me. But let's jump off into this. The first match, at least a match and a half, was available on ESPN2 for free in case you wanted to check it out that way. But our opening match of the night kind of shocked me. I thought maybe it would have been Io and Asuka, but no, it was Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins in this little grudge match that has been going on for over a year. This initially was supposed to take place at WrestleMania, but injuries and just so many factors went into it that just threw all of the plans out of the window. But we got it here tonight. Seth Rollins came out first, followed by Braun Breaker, accompanied by Paul Heyman. Braun Breaker immediately, he missed the spear, allowing Rollins to get some early offense in before Braun Breaker was able to get back control. At ringside, we saw Seth Rollins interrupt a charging Braun Breaker with a super kick. Braun Breaker later had sent Seth Rollins over the announce table with a clothesline. Seth Rollins attempted a superplex, and Braun Breaker, he reversed it into a Falcon Arrow. That was a cool counter move. That actually got my attention because I didn't see that one coming. But it only warranted a 2 count. Rollins, he countered a Frankensteiner, little botchy there. This match had some botches. And I do know Braun Breaker, he hasn't had a legitimate match in over, 2 or 3 months since he got hurt. So this was like his first real match back. Rollins, he's still not 100%. So it was a lot of botchiness in this match. But they're professionals, they're pros, and they did kind of, work their way around those botches. I do give them kudos for that. But I can't exclude those botches, man. He reversed that Frankensteiner attempt, and then he executed a pedigree into a stomp. That only got a 2 count. Paul Heyman, he made a distraction, which allowed Division to step in. Logan Paul and Austin Theory, they interfered to no avail. They did nothing but take chair shots and a stomp to the outside for their thanks for coming gif. So Rollins, he entered back into the ring. Braun Breaker immediately hit him with a spear. That only got a 2 count. Seth Rollins, he countered another spear into a pedigree. Pretty cool. We've seen him do this a few times before, but it still looks good. I like that little counter. Breaker, he intercepted a stomp from the middle rope with a spear. That was also a cool counter. And he followed with another spear after running the ropes and gaining up about 40 miles per hour worth of speed and hit Seth Rollins, this time getting the 1, 2, 3. Braun Breaker defeats Seth Rollins in our opening match. This was a good start to the night. This match went 22 minutes. And I other than the botches, it was good. It was only like 2 botches in the match. And they were big botches, but they kind of worked around it, like I said earlier. But it was so noticeable. So noticeable. It's so bad. Just bad. But as far as telling a story in the ring, I think both of our competitors here did a pretty good job. You know, Seth Rollins, he's one of the best at it. Braun Breaker, up and coming. He's the next big thing. You know, that it's not just a saying. They're not just trying to jam them down our throat. He really is the next big thing, and I can't wait to see what's next for him. I can't wait to see him and Roman Reigns go at it, because eventually he's going to have to move on to bigger and better things, i.e. the World Heavyweight Championship. So that was our first match of the night. We move over to our second match, and this was an actual WrestleMania rematch. This was for the United States Championship between Whoop That Trick Williams, who's accompanied by Little Yachty. He is defending yet again against Sami Zayn and their ongoing feud that that includes the gingerbread man. I don't know. I don't understand SmackDown. SmackDown is some of the worst television you ever want to watch. But you have this feud going on. I knew this was going to be a good match. Big fan of Trick Williams. I love what he's doing, and he's only going to get better. That's the great thing about it. And Sami Zayn is the GOAT, man. Sami Zayn, if you can't work with Sami Zayn and Sami Zayn can't make you look good, wrestling isn't for you. Sami started off, he attacked Trick Williams with some chops in the corner. Williams eventually retaliated with a clothesline at ringside. Sami Zayn, he responded with a Blue Thunder Bomb, which should be his finisher. Honest to God, I wish he would switch it up. Let the Haluta Kick set up the Blue Thunder Bomb instead of vice versa. That's just my humble opinion. But he responded with a Blue Thunder Bomb, and then he faked a knee injury for the roll-up attempt, which only got a 2 count. Little Yachty, he distracted the referee, saying he hit Trick Williams with the kendo stick. Zayn prepared for a Haluta Kick, and then Little Yachty hit Sami Zayn with the kendo stick himself, allowing Trick Williams to land the trick shot, only for a 2 count. And then Zayn, he executed a DDT on Trick Williams on the outside portion of the ring against the steel steps before attacking Little Yachty with the kendo stick and a Haluta Kick as well for good measure. Sami Zayn, he missed in a Haluta Kick on Trick Williams, and then it was countered into the trick shot for the 1, 2, 3. Trick Williams retains his not the world, but the United States Championship. This was decent. It was fine. I mean, it was nothing, to blow your socks off. I think the WrestleMania match was better. To be honest with you, I was a little more entertained by that match than I was for this one. It's just, at this point, I'm just tired of seeing them. Let's move on. Let's move on. There's so much talent in the mid card on SmackDown that can be challenging for the United States Championship, and we're recycling this gingerbread man Sami Zayn thing, because I mean, wasn't Sami at one point in the driver's seat for a World Heavyweight Championship, and now he's stuck here with the United States Championship picture? Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing to be ashamed about, but I'm just saying, it's kind of, I don't know. And then, what is Sami? Is he a heel? Is he a face? Because that fake knee roll up thing, that's a heel move. He's still coming out with that music. He's still upbeat Sami, but nobody really cares for him. He's getting booed, and I don't get it. I just don't. I don't get where they're going with Sami Zayn, because I like Sami Zayn. Nobody wants to see Sami Zayn become the WWE champion more than me. I really think he's deserved it for years. He should have been wanted. It's long overdue. But all this is doing is setting him back, taking these L's. And it's great that he's putting over Trick, That's great. Good for Trick. But Sammy, come on, man. Let's move on to something bigger and better. And so we move over to our third match of the night. And this is the one I said they should have put this on SmackDown. To be honest with you, we seen this on SmackDown. It was Danhausen. Danhausen and a mystery partner taking on The Miz and Kit Wilson. Look, man, I'm gonna be honest yet again, because that's all I know how to be. I love Danhausen, and look, I never followed Danhausen. Like I tell everybody, I don't watch AEW like that. Every now and then I'll watch a match or two, or see something online or something like that. But as far as sitting down and watching Dynamite and Collision, not for me. I don't have the time or the patience. I barely had the time and patience for Raw or SmackDown, just to be fair. So I don't watch it. So I didn't know much about Danhausen. So when he had debuted in WWE, I was like, okay, because I've never seen him wrestle. I never seen anything about him. I don't know what his stick is. What is it? And so when he got here and he started seeing the backstage interviews and his interactions with everybody else, immediately became a fan. Immediately he got over with me. I love Danhausen, but I love Danhausen in the role that he plays backstage. I don't need to see him wrestle. Him and his comedy thing, that's cool. That's why I love R-Truth. And R-Truth can go in the ring, but I enjoy R-Truth more behind the microphone. That's just my preference. Same thing with Danhausen. And so we get this match booked. And I'm sitting there watching this. And during these, 12 minutes this match went on? This match went on for 12 minutes. For the 12 minutes this match went on, I'm sitting there, and all I can think about was a Kairi Sane. All I can think about were a New Day. All I can think about were all these wrestlers who were let go because of budget cuts. And we have to sit here on a premium live event where people paid $30 to watch this. And I'm like, why do we have to watch this? Danhausen with his mystery opponent, who turned out to be a little person, Minihausen, take on a former WWE champion who main evented WrestleMania not too long ago, The Miz and Kit Wilson. Why? Why is this happening? Why? On the premium live event, if this is on SmackDown, fine. If this is on a Saturday night main event, cool. Why on Backlash? Look, man, was the match entertaining? It was entertaining. Minihausen is a beast. I'm not taking none of that away. It was entertaining. I just didn't understand. It just conjured up all of these thoughts about, man, this could have been a perfect spot for the women's tag team championship match or something like that, because the women's division has been getting off lately. It's one of the shining lights on WWE television. None of that here on this show. This would have been a nice time for an Intercontinental Championship match with Penta and whoever. Perfect time for that. No, we got to watch Danhausen. But nonetheless, we got it. Danhausen, he comes out, he opens up the clone machine, and it reveals Minihausen as his partner. Then you have Wilson attacking Minihausen, who responds with strikes of his own, with a springboard spinning shoulder. Minihausen chase Kit Wilson towards the stage, eventually entering the clone machine again, only to have multiple Minihausens come out, which we saw all of these Minihausens at WrestleMania just a few weeks ago, and they began attacking Kit Wilson. The original Minihausen then performs an airplane spin into a wasteland, which looks it looked awesome when he executed it on Kit Wilson for a pin attempt. And then we get the Miz trying to use a fire extinguisher, but it malfunctioned because he was cursed. And instead, it sprayed on him and also on Kit Wilson as well. And Danhausen then delivered a pump kick to Wilson for the 1-2-3. Your winners, Danhausen and Minihausen. Cool. Cool. I have nothing else to say. Nothing else to say about this match. Anywho, let's move on to our grudge match. And clearly, the spoiler alert, clearly the best match of the night. And it was Io Sky versus Asuka. This has been a match in the making for, I don't know, 2-3 years. It feels like it could be longer than that, but this is finally getting a blow off here at Backlash, a match that should have took place at WrestleMania with Kairi Sane, but no, they Kairi Sane is no longer with the company, being released with the 500 other people that were released over the last couple of weeks there. But it just felt empty. I will say that much. It felt empty because Kairi Sane played a major part. She was the central figure of this story. And so them having this match kind of made no sense at this point. You get, it just didn't have that same pop. Now, there were rumors that Kairi Sane might return and interfere in this match in some shape, form, or fashion, and I honestly was looking for it. And when it didn't happen, I was disappointed. And it wasn't fair. So I had to take a breath after this match and really scan over this match in its totality. As far as the match is concerned, and the story being told inside of those ropes, this was an amazing match. These two know each other going all the way back to Japan. They came up together. They trained together. They hit the road together. They pretty much entered WWE. I think Asuka was here first. Asuka came first, then Io Shirai at the time. But they know each other. They the Kabuki Warriors. They teamed up together. They was in Damage Control together. It's a lot of meat on this bone, but it really didn't end the way I would have hoped it to end. But nonetheless, the match began with Asuka having the upper hand, bullying Io around the ring with some fast and furious kicks. Throughout the bout, they exchanged submission holds on the mat, including the Asuka lock. They took flight into the air. Asuka countered into a Hurricanrana for a near fall. You also had Asuka catch Io with a forearm from outside the ring during a suicide dive, and that was late in the match. They got on top of the commentary table. Asuka tried to blow the poison mist onto Io's face at some point, and Io blocked it with a monitor and used it as a shield. It was pretty cool. That was a cool moment. I'm not gonna front. At that point, Io then took Asuka down with a middle rope moonsault to the outside. Asuka avoided Io's attempt of the over the moonsault back inside of the ring and caught her with the Asuka lot yet again. However, Io managed to get out of that. Io nailed Asuka with some German suplex, I think one actually, and then hit her with a moonsault yet again, this time for the 1-2-3. Io Sky comes out victorious in this grudge match. After the match, there was a cool moment of respect. Both women cried in the ring, hugged, and they both left out. Now, I interpret this, that's just me, but I interpret this as Asuka is leaving. I think Asuka is leaving WWE. And if she is, she needs to. I wouldn't, I'm not going to say I wouldn't be mad. I would be mad because Asuka is one of the best women's wrestlers on the roster. And she was built up, especially in NXT. My God, she was undefeated in NXT. And she was undefeated for a long stretch on the main roster until that fateful WrestleMania here in New Orleans, mind you, because I was in attendance when Charlotte Flair beat her at WrestleMania in New Orleans. But since all that, Asuka really hasn't had anything. She's done nothing, man. And it's not her. It's creative. They haven't put her in anything poignant. It's been beefing with Io or beefing with Rhea. Oh, that's pretty much it. It wasn't a lot of venturing out in the women's division for Asuka. And that was a mistake on WWE. And I think the straw that broke the camel's back was the Kairi Sane thing. I think them letting Kairi Sane basically walk out the door, it's that was it, man. Because what is Asuka going to do now? Now, you can look at this as now her and Io would team up because they both are partnerless because Rhea Ripley has moved over to SmackDown and they're the only two on Raw, you know? And so that's the only thing you can do. If she stays, that's the only way they can un-F this situation up. And so it could be interpreted as that they're now a team, or Asuka's gone. And if Asuka's gone, that's going to be detrimental to Io because she has nobody on Raw. There is nobody to help her, assist her, translate for her because her English still isn't there. And so there's a lot of question marks here. But I think WWE really messed up. I mean, severely messed up with this Kairi Sane debacle. But anyway, we get a segment with the greatest of all time. Mr. I Can't See You, John Cena. They just can't let him go. The man retired and they just can't let him go. But it was good to see him. Good to see him out there. And he was basically there to announce the John Cena Classic. This is going to be a new tournament, as if we don't have enough. A new tournament in WWE, which is inspired by his final match, that Saturday night main event where you had NXT stars going up against main roster stars, allowing them to showcase themselves on a big stage. You know, he mentioned them, Sol Ruka, Javon Evans, and Oba Femi. And you see that Oba Femi is all get out. He is the most over person in the company, if not in the business right now. But the world got to experience him there or at that event. So that kind of inspired this new little thing here. Now, it's interesting. It's an interesting thing. The setup is kind of dumb, but I want to see it in context. I want to see it play out. Will it make sense once it starts to unfold? It's basically the entire company is vying for this thing. It's the best of today versus the best of tomorrow. And the winner will receive a new title, as if we don't need any other titles. You know, but we got another title to contend for. And it's going to be up to the fans. And this, to kind of summarize it, it's like a WWE version of American Idol. I mean, it really doesn't matter if you win or lose the match. If you're over with the WWE universe and get more votes, you'll be the champion. And so it's the one championship. You don't have to win a match and still become the champion. That's the part where I'm like, this makes no sense to me. You know, I get it. I get the vision. You want a true people's champion. You want somebody that the people's going to get behind. I get all that, but it's this. I don't think this is going to work. They're going to have to tweak some things in order for it to make sense for me. But that's besides the point. We move on to our main event. We have a World Heavyweight Championship match. Roman Reigns defending against Jacob Fatu. This match, I think, is like 3 months too early, but they gave it to us now. And I say 3 months too early because I would like to see Jacob Fatu go over. Now, this could be setting it up to Jacob Fatu, a series of matches where Jacob Fatu finally wins it at, I don't know, Money in the Bank or something like that. Who knows? But making this Roman Reigns' first feud after getting the championship just a couple of weeks ago at WrestleMania, you already knew Roman Reigns was not dropping that title tonight. That was not going to happen. So it's no shock that he retained in this match. Now the match, pretty decent match. It actually contend with the Io and Asuka match. It was that good. It was slightly better than Braun and Seth Rollins, but this was a really good match. Roman rarely has a bad match. To be honest with you, I can't think of one off the top of my head. I'm in my heart, I know he had a bad match somewhere down the line. I just can't think of it. But Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns, really no clear physical advantage throughout the match. It was shot for shot throughout the match, whether it was chops, punches, uppercuts. It was physical blow for blow throughout the match. That's what made it more interesting. That's what made the story stand out during the match. You got the backstory of these two, they're cousins, it's a family thing. Well, Jacob Fatu at one point was a part of the bloodline, and the whole hatred thing was that you didn't call me, you being Roman Reigns, didn't call me when I was struggling, when I was trying to feed my family and all this here, but you call yourself the Tribe of Chief. So yeah, the story's there. His hatred from Roman is warranted and all this here. And so, yeah, the match was already set up with this Tongan death lock or death grip that Jacob Fatu introduced a couple of weeks ago on Raw. He latched it on to Roman a few times. He passed out once from it, and it looked like it hurt. It looked like it seriously hurts. Somebody grabbing your Adam's apple, I'm pretty sure it does. But it was introduced. We know it was going to be incorporated in this match. Jacob Fatu, he came out with his fingers taped a certain way that he hadn't had taped before like this. And so you knew that he was leaning into this death grip. And I think he used it 3 times, at least when the match was officially on the way. Roman managed to weasel out of it a couple of times. At the end, it came down to questionable circumstances how Roman retained the championship. He ripped off the turnbuckle. He managed to drive Jacob Fatu into the turnbuckle, hit a spear, and get the 1, 2, 3. And so that opens the door to more matches. Now, like I was saying, to start this recap on this match, it's most likely going to be a series of matches going forward. Because now Jacob Fatu can argue, you didn't beat me clean. You had to cheat to win. He attacked him after the match, putting the death grip on him, almost killing him. I mean, to the point Roman Reigns, he's just foaming at the mouth, coughing, just spitting and everything else. It was brutal, man. He's Jacob Fatu, he's super kicking. Was that Hurricane Helms? I think that was Hurricane Helms. He Samoan dropped. I believe that was Jamie Noble, if I'm not mistaken, and he threw Adam Pearce out the ring, and so he got physical with WWE officials there. So there'd be some consequences, I would imagine, on Raw. But as far as the feud with Roman, that is far from over. Roman Reigns retains his World Heavyweight Championship by defeating Jacob Fatu in this brutal physical match. I really enjoyed the match. As far as the PLE as a whole, I enjoyed it as a whole. I really did. I didn't hate not one match. Even the Danhausen, Minihausen tag team match, I didn't hate that. It was just, I just felt it didn't warrant being on this card. That was my only beef with it. But as far as the matches themselves, I enjoyed every single match, and that's what you want. I mean, this isn't a WrestleMania card. I mean, if this was I put it this way. I'm gonna shock the world right quick. I'll put it this way. This card was better than night one of WrestleMania. Hey, sue me. That's what I feel that much. And with that being said, you got to really sit back and think. I know those of you probably getting mad. You got to sit back and think. That's really not that high a bar to clear. So that doesn't mean it should be all these matches should have took place at WrestleMania. It just means that card was that bad. But yet and still, this was a good card. It was an enjoyable PLE. That being said, it wasn't a PLE quality pay-per-view other than the last two matches, Io Sky and Asuka and Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu. The other three matches could have very easily took place on Raw or SmackDown and wouldn't have batted an eye. But that's my recap and reaction to WWE Backlash Tampa. What did you think of tonight's show? Are you happy with the product? Are you happy with the product as a whole? And how did those releases affect you? Or are you upset by them? Are you optimistic that maybe some of them will come back? I don't know. I doubt it. But I would love to know your thoughts on that issue and the PLE. Email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also search for the show on all social media platforms. Just search for the KB Radio Network. Also, don't forget about YouTube. Subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel and like this video if you don't mind. Don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are listening to Faces and Heels here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me for this recap and reaction to WWE Backlash. Oh man, when's the next paper? Oh, a few weeks, huh? Yeah, at the end of the month, we got Clash in Italy. That would be an interesting one. I think for certain it's Cody and Gunther for the WWE Championship. That's the one official match, but we'll see what else pops up between now and then. But until then, y'all be cool, and I'll catch you on the next round.